When the camera starts rolling, some interviewers have this way of cracking people open. They sit down with a stranger and within minutes that person's spilling their soul, saying things they've never said out loud. It's not magic, it's preparation. This is part 1 of 2 videos on mastering the art of the interview. Today is what to do before you hit record. You'll learn a great tip on how to build a rapport quickly, how to find the heart of the conversation or the focus, how to structure your interview, and a few things not to do that could actually hurt your interview. And watch to the end because the last one is an AI shortcut that can save you hours. And no, it's not ask ChatGPT to write questions for him.
Did he say ChatGPT?
Ready? Let's fix it in pre.
We've got to go back to the beginning.
Real quick, don't miss the free download in the description. It's a guidebook with 35 rules of documentary filmmaking I wish I had when I was starting out in the Ice Age. Building rapport on camera starts off camera by allowing for some time to get comfortable with one another in person. But if you want to warm things up fast, here's an idea from a former colleague at the Boston Globe who used to show up with a fresh loaf of bread for the person he was writing about. Simple, disarming, and wildly effective. That small gesture often opened the door to deep emotional access. You don't need to be a baker, but bringing lunch, a handwritten note, or any small, thoughtful gift can go a long way. It's not about the thing, it's about showing up with care. How much effort you put in building rapport? Well, it depends on how much they're risking. If they're sharing something difficult, you might need more bread. Even if it's a lighter corporate video, a little goes a long way to building trust. And trust melts skepticism faster than you can say skepticism. Skepticism. You need to build rapport, yes, but you also need to gather the information needed to get to the heart of the conversation when you're on camera. What you want to avoid is rolling on an interview without really knowing how this person fits into the story. Digging for the narrative when you're recording wastes time, frustrates your guests, who are probably already really anxious, and creates a mess in editing. Remember, every recorded minute costs you 10 in post, and a bloated shoot becomes a digital haystack. With better prep, your interviews will be shorter, but they'll be far more productive. Here's my standard prep process for finding the heart of the interview. When possible, I do a formal pre-interview. It's just an off-camera chat at about 70% intensity. Structure your pre-interview conversation in the form of a story. I use the same interview structure every time on and off camera. I just tailor the questions and ask good follow-ups as needed. This structure works in every scenario, so memorize it. Intro, backstory, current day, challenges, and resolution. Intro, tell me a little bit about yourself. Backstory, take me back. How did you get into this? Current day, what's happening now? Challenges, what's standing in your way? Resolution, hopes, dreams, goals, what needs to happen next? Notice anything about that? You've heard the term narrative arc in films and books, but a good conversation has them too. And a bonus, you can use this with the weird uncle at your brother's wedding.
Ta-da! Look who it is!
Or the landlord you're investigating for a Netflix doc. And pre-interviews are just as valuable for your subject as they are for you. Most people are terrified to be on camera and don't know what to expect, so this gives you and them a nice warm-up. Once the pre-interview's done, I use that info to craft a log line, a 2-sentence summary of the character's story. Here's an example from a piece I directed for La Frontera. In a forgotten ghost town on the Arizona border, caretaker Leslie found unexpected purpose when migrants began arriving in need of first aid. She must choose whether to help them or avoid the wrath of political vigilantes. The key is that it's no more than 2 sentences, includes who they are, what's happening, and the central conflict. A logline isn't a description, it's a clarity tool. Having extreme clarity about your character's story and role will give you a laser-sharp line of questions and gives you an incredible elevator pitch down the road too. Lastly, I make some crib notes, quick reminders on an index card of things I don't want to forget to talk about. You can use the Notes app too, but it looks like you're checking your Facebook instead of listening. So to sum up, find the heart of the conversation by pre-interviewing, writing a sharp log line, and making some crib notes with core elements you want to remember for the interview. A quick word of caution about pre-interviews. Your guest will drop a perfect soundbite, or maybe even get emotional. Whatever you do, please resist the urge to say, "Can you say that again just like that on camera?" or "Save that emotion for the interview." That's the fastest way to make someone self-conscious. Now they're thinking about what you want and their performance instead of being present. And that kills truth. If you help them feel supported, they'll say everything you need on camera and more. And don't worry if they're emotional in the pre-interview. There's this fear that is understandable that they're not going to feel those same things, or you're not going to get that emotional content when you're recording. Trauma doesn't run out. Trust me, they've got a deep well and plenty more where that came from. In fact, if they get emotional off camera, it's almost guaranteed they'll feel it again when recording. Why? When the camera rolls, it has its own gravity, like a full moon. It heightens the energy and pulls something deeper out of people. So don't worry. Your goal isn't to get them emotional anyway. Your goal is to get truth, man. Sometimes people have second thoughts about doing an interview. I don't blame them. This is natural. Remember, for them, it's often high risk, low reward. Never be aggressive in pushing someone to do something when they've expressed discomfort. This will actually push them away from you. Here's 2 things not to say. You'll be fine. It's dismissive and minimizes their fear. Instead, be honest. They might not be fine. Be transparent. Ironically, I found that being upfront about possible risks builds more trust. Here's the other one you shouldn't say. I know what you're going through. You don't. Even if you've had a similar experience, it's not their experience. It can come off as minimizing or worse, self-congratulatory, like you're superior because you've gotten through it, and they can too. And finally, never mislead. Filmmaking is hard. The pressure to get participation is real, but skewing the truth to get a yes will cost you one way or the other in the end. Here's a gut check. Imagine them watching the final film. Will they feel seen or blindsided? The answer will naturally adjust your moral compass. What you can do is remind them why their story matters. Let them know their courage could help others, and reassure them that the interview isn't live, it's edited, and you'll be with them the whole way. I've directed hours of docuseries content for PBS and other networks, and my producers and I have to pre-interview dozens of people in a short amount of time. Doing it without AI was rough. Doing it with the right tool, total game changer. There are plenty of apps that let you record a virtual hangout, but what if you're doing a pre-interview live in person? Check out an app called Otter AI. This isn't a sponsored plug. I've just used it a lot and it works really well. It runs on your phone and transcribes your conversation in real time when you're live with the person. I just ask them if they're okay with me recording. If they are, I hit record, set the phone between us, and we just hang out and talk. I don't have to take notes or look down at my phone. Later, I can share the transcript with my team or go back to check any key details. And you can chat with it and ask it things like, what are the main themes from this conversation? Or give me all the facts you can about this person. So why not work smarter? But this is all a waste of time if you don't watch my next video with tips on interviewing someone on camera that are guaranteed to get you the most access possible to your guest's inner life. And I use them in every single interview. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe for all the latest tips on documentary filmmaking. Really helps the channel. Make docs, move hearts. Peace.